But you also have to just read the room a little. And when you're making the amount of money these guys are making, and you're charging what you're charging for us to consume the product, we don't really want to hear you bitch and complain about the sketchy. Like, we just don't. I'm just being real.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I had a request to check out this video from Uncut Hoops. This is actually from about 2 weeks ago, so it's a little bit older, but the request came in regardless, so let's check it out. It is titled The NBA, where complaining happens 24/7. Yeah, I'm down with it. Let's check this out. So, guys, the original video will be down below in the description, as always. You'll see a list of channel members. Shout out to channel members. Guys, I want to get right into this so I can see what it's about. But yeah, do me a favor, hit that like button if you could, hit that hype button if you could. Hope you all are doing well, and let's check this out.
It was the 17th game in the last 29 days in 12 different cities that the Warriors have played. And if you haven't been paying attention at home, Kerr's been very vocal about it. Quote, "It's been the toughest early schedule I've ever been a part of."
We have all the data. Players are running faster and further than ever before. And so we're trying to do the best we can to protect them, but basically have a game every other night.
You know, I know that they're getting up and down the floor a lot more, but we're also shooting a lot of jump shots and a lot of three-pointers as well. And it's not so much contact and running as much. Guys are running from three-point line to three-point line.
Yep, I
People
agree.
don't want to hear about the sketchy.
Yep, that cuts out more than half of the court right there. If you're just running from three-point line to three-point line. Good point.
Dude, like, they really don't. And there are certain professions.
What do you say?
People don't want to hear about the sketchy, dude. Like, they really don't. And there are certain professions, when you're in them, there are pluses and minuses. I got an uncle who's a police officer for 35 years. He's on call all the time.
We're looking
I mean, also, if you're a coach, and I kind of like Steve Kerr, but, you know, to be critical on him, if that's really the problem, then go deeper in your lineup. Use your bench more. And if that doesn't work out for you because all your stars are making all the money, well, you might have to rethink about how much money you distribute to each player. If you can't play them for 40 minutes a game, say you can only play your star for 30 minutes a game, the rest is going to go to the backups. You might need to pay them less. Might need to be a little more equal distribution of the pay.
Past 15 years of NBA history, the most accomplished head coach in the NBA is Steve Kerr by a country mile. As of course in Golden State, made 6 NBA finals, won 4 championships, 2 of which were back-to-back. Now, looking past Steve Kerr's accomplishments, which you can't really downplay, Steve Kerr, the person, the coach, just a personality, never really liked this dude, as he back in the early 2010s was kind of whiny, pissy, and always very prickly. And Steve Kerr nowadays, in his early 60s, it's 10 times worse.
Okay, I'm just gonna insert my bias here. If Steve Kerr wasn't part of that second dream team, that second 3P team, I could probably care less about Steve Kerr, but I do have fond memories of it. You know what I mean? So I am aware, and I'm admitting I have some bias when it comes to him.
The 17th game in 29 days. Is there a sense of relief or solace knowing that the schedule is going to lighten up at some point? You get 5 coming up at home.
Well, there would be, except we have a game in 48 hours against Portland, so it's not like we have a break.
But you also have to just read the room a little. And when you're making the amount of money these guys are making, and you're charging what you're charging for us to consume the product.
Yes.
We don't really want to hear you bitch and complain about the sketchy.
Yeah.
Like, we just don't. I'm just being real. The average fan don't want to hear it.
So stopping that
That's true. That's true. We're already pissed off that players aren't showing up to the games, and we're paying money to see these games. We don't want to hear. Oh, I can't do it. It's too much.
there very quickly. When it comes to any NBA team, the worst team to the best team, there's certain points in the schedule where it gets very, very tough. You're playing back-to-backs, 3 games in 5 nights, and in a week, you might have 5 games. Over an NBA season, that simply happens, and it is what it is.
It's always
See,
happened.
from the Warriors, they're not unique, they're not special in this era and in any era. And here's one thing you gotta say. The average person, average fan, we really don't care. We have no sympathy for the Golden State Warriors, who dominated an entire decade.
We've only had 5 home games out of the first 17.
I'm here to tell you right now, We don't care.
Why Steve Kerr is really pissed off isn't because of the schedule or rough patch, losing so many games back to back to back. Why Steve Kerr is complaining is this roster is ancient and full of senior citizens. As look at their average age, just over 27, the oldest in the NBA. Al Horford, he's 39, approaching 40. Steph Curry, almost 38. Butler's 36. Draymond 35, and both Buddy Hield and GP are 33. This Warriors team top to bottom is a veteran-led team and a very old team. In the playoffs, that's a great thing. But for the NBA season, which is a grind, it's kind of hit and miss.
Golden State could start 5 players over 35 on opening night. They would be the second team to have 5 players that old at the beginning of the year since the Mavericks in 2011-2012.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
And here's one truth.
Dude, okay. Is it 12-man rosters right now? Because if this is really that much of a problem, what do we need? We need to go like 15, so we got first, second, and third string units. Well, I just don't understand what's the big deal about playing a back-to-back when you've got that many players. Like, just play your other players then. You don't need to sit out games too. And I'm not advocating for load management. What I am advocating for is if your guys are too tired, have them play 20 minutes instead of 40 minutes on the second game of a back-to-back. Utilize your bench. How hard is that? It should be okay. It's not the playoffs, you know?
Across all eras.
But as long as they're showing up.
This game is a young man's game. Yes, old guys can succeed, but the guys who dominate teams to dominate primarily are younger teams in their mid-20s. Not 35, 36, approaching 40. That's just how it is. And for someone like Steve Kerr, he should know this more so than anyone. As looking back at his career, played for the Spurs as well as Bulls. And in Chicago, the 98 team, the oldest championship team in league history.
Yeah.
And looking at them, no complaints, no cop-outs, no whining on a daily basis. Dennis Rodman, he was 36. Michael Jordan, 35, his last year at the Bulls. Ron Harper, 34, very, very injury prone. Pippen, 33,
yeah, Pippen was
and
busted.
Kukoc was 30. Looking at that team right there, 98, the oldest roster in basketball that, of course, won the championship. And for the entire season.
And not to mention, MJ played all 82 games that year, no surprise. If I'm not mistaken, he played all 82 games all 3 years of that second three-peat. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments.
Injuries, dysfunction, and everything you could imagine.
Excuses are like assholes, Taylor. Everybody got it.
That Bulls team being ancient and old, in some respects, was a positive, because they were veteran savvy, but in other ways, was a big-time detriment. Now, one thing I do want to add in there, when it comes to that Bulls old core, looking at Rodman, Jordan, Harper, and Kukoc, those guys being in their 30s, mid-30s, late 30s.
Hey, Harp did it too. Rodman probably the only 2 games he didn't. Was that when he was in Vegas? I think that was when he was in Vegas.
All of them played 70-plus games. And here's the last detail. The Bulls that season played 17 back-to-backs and went 13-4. Mm-hmm. And again, they did not complain.
We have a game in 48 hours against Portland, so it's not like we have a break.
Shut up, bitch!
Like I said earlier,
Dude, I remember after the 92 Olympics, the Bulls were on their, they were going on the 3rd year of a three-peat run. So they win 1 championship, win 2 championship. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan go to the Olympics for the Dream Team in Barcelona, 92. Then they got to come back and defend their title for a 3rd championship. They didn't complain. I remember seeing a sit-down conversation to them, and they were just talking about, they didn't really get much rest, so they're going to kind of figure out early in the season to kind of cut some minutes for both of them, for Scottie and for MJ, just to kind of, get a little bonus rest in before, until, the All-Star break. It's not hard to figure this stuff out. If your body's worn out, you rest a little bit. But you don't have to take full days off. You could just work a little less that day.
Comes a sympathy for NBA players, NBA coaches. Nowadays, there's not much to find. And looking through NBA history, knowing how tough guys had it back in the day, I have absolutely no sympathy for guys in the 2020s.
Right.
Look at someone like Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain who in the 50s and 60s. Those guys in any given week would play 5 or 6 games, 3 straight games, and 3 games in 4 nights.
You see guys that they try to worry about the minutes and
load
the time.
management.
Oh, that's their load management. I mean, I think if you're making $50 million a year, there's no load management.
No such thing.
I think sometimes you owe it to the fans who come to see you play.
Bottom line, let's cut through the BS. Put it in the comments. How many of you, if you were offered $50 million right now, 1 year, $50 million, would you put your body on the line? I would. If I've got bad knees, bad legs, like shoulder injuries, if I've got whatever for the rest of my life, I don't care. We're gonna get these things working regular jobs anyways, usually. So if I can get $50 million in 1 year and all I have to do is bust my ass, show up to work, do my best, you think I'm taking days off? Hell no. You think I'm complaining? Oh, I'm working too hard. Hell no, I'm not complaining. After 1 year of work, that's it. I'm rich. You're rich for life after 1 year of work. This is why we don't like hearing this stuff, okay? Let me know what your opinion is in the comments. Would you sacrifice your body for 1 year? And by sacrifice your body, I mean die for a ball, injure your knee, injure your ankle, stuff like that. Would you consider that a fair trade-off for $50 million? I sure as hell would. And I don't appreciate hearing, these entitled NBA players complain about this, that this is their life. This is how hard it is. Man, you never stock shelves overnight at a Kmart or some crap like that, Like they have no idea how hard it is just to be able to make your bills at the end of the month, and you do that for like 50 hours a week. Hey, I got an applause. Thank you.
So long story short, when it comes to an NBA season, yes, it's a grind even today, but compared to the past, it's 10 times easier. And that word grind, it is very, very important. Nowadays, coaches and players, they want things to be easy and kind of spoon-fed to them.
Don't forget, once the season is over, they get months vacation. That too. I don't know any other job, unless you're a teacher. But when you're a teacher, you're not getting paid a lot of money, unfortunately. But I don't know any other high-paying job where you get to take off like 1/4 of the year. It's a total vacation.
Winning an NBA championship, competing, heck, even being a good team in your conference, it's a hard thing to accomplish because the NBA season, it is a marathon and a grind. If you want things to be easy and be fair, all these sunshine and rainbows, you're in the wrong sport in the wrong profession. And again, looking at Steve Kerr's complaint, what was he whining about? 17 games in 29 days. Is that a tough stretch? Of course it is. Look at those 98 Bulls, their first 3 months of the season. The Bulls in November, 17 games. The Warriors, also 17. December, Chicago, 14. The Warriors, 11. January, both teams played 16. Now here's the added layer. Number of back-to-backs for Chicago, it was 13. The Golden State Warriors, only 5.
Wow.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Like I said earlier, when it comes to the NBA schedule, it's getting progressively easier. In the 80s, it was harder than the 90s. In the 90s, harder than the 2000s. In the 2000s, harder than the 2010s. And for someone like Steve Kerr, he should know this more so than anyone. But unfortunately for him, he's stuck in that whining, complaining phase, pointing fingers at everyone but his team, who again, is ancient. And one thing I do want to point out very quickly, basketball nowadays, yes, is more spaced out than ever. But looking at spacing, how is the game played? Not based on the baseline, but 3-point line to 30-point line.
Yeah.
That overall distance is much, much shorter.
And a lot of the fatigue used to come from all that bumping and grinding in the post. I mean, hell, you even get a ton of contact if you're a perimeter player. Someone's constantly got their forearm right into your side or into your back, and you're using force to back them up. This is where, so they talk about like, oh, we're running more than ever. Okay. But you're missing this whole other element of physicality that they had to deal with up until the 2010s. So is it actually harder on the body? I don't know. Maybe just harder on the legs, but it's definitely not harder on a player's upper body. So what do we got to figure out? If they're running more, maybe they got to play a couple less minutes. Sorry. that might be what it is, because their legs are too tired from running back and forth. If that's the solution, that's the solution. Play your other players more.
Yes, is there more spacing, defensive movement? Of course there is. If you watch the games, that's abundantly true. But looking at the fast break style of the game, it's a lot of run and gun 3-point shooting, 3-point line, 3-point line. Not based on the baseline like it was in the past in the 60s and 70s when the pace was actually higher.
The injuries, obviously we've been highlighting calves a lot because the calf injury has been happening to a lot of our marquee guys. As far as the pace of the game, I can't speak to the pace. It looks regular to me. I know that they're getting up and down the floor a lot more, but we're also shooting a lot of jump shots and a lot of 3-pointers as well. Mm-hmm. And it's not so much contact and running as much. Guys are running from 3-point line to 3-point line.
Now, one last thing I do want to point out, when it comes to modern NBA, how it's structured, how a season goes, it's all games, very little practice. In the past, it was the exact opposite. Yes, you had 82 games, more back-to-backs, but also you had much more practices 5-on-5, not just shooting and rest days. Yes, you had rest days, but the vast majority of the season, you're practicing with your team to get ready for the postseason. Teams nowadays, admittedly, don't practice nearly as much.
Yep.
For me, that's just a big-time problem.
I agree. I'll speak on that at the end because we're right at the end here.
Course and practice, what is that building up? Calluses for the NBA season and the rigors of 82 games.
You nailed it.
If you're not practicing keeping your body in motion, you're starting, stopping. That's very, very choppy, and for an NBA athlete, can't be the best for you. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
Yep, great video. I mean, from my own personal experience, like my last injury, ironically enough, was my calf tear. I tore my right calf, and how did I do it? I did it because I was trying to do things my body wasn't used to and comfortable with anymore. So I was working myself back into shape, and I got to the point where I started jogging. My knees were feeling strong enough to do it, so I started jogging around. And the problem is I went too far too fast. So I went from a body, legs that weren't comfortable with jogging at all, and I was doing it a lot. So I did it for 2 days in a row, and then I went to go play pickleball with my friends after I had done a full workout and after I had just got done with a jogging session. And then I'm doing another thing to my body that I wasn't comfortable with, which was just, doing the side trot, the shuffle that you have to do in a pickleball game, and then rip, boom, it was it. My calf had enough, and I went straight down to the ground. Really embarrassing too, how it all happened. But it wasn't about what I was doing necessarily in the moment. It was about the things that I was doing leading up to that moment. And I was making my body very uncomfortable. So, like Uncut said, all the sources say nowadays that they're barely ever scrimmaging in practice. So practice is more of a training session now than actual practicing basketball in a 5-on-5 setting. So all this running back and forth that they're doing, all the contact that they're experiencing in games, they're not getting that on a daily basis unless they're in games. So you got to wonder, well, no wonder why they're getting injured in games, because they're not used, their bodies are just not used to this anymore. You could be on a treadmill as much as you want, but it's different running on that hardwood, and it's different types of running motions you're doing too, because half of basketball is not just accelerating, it's decelerating. And it is what it is, and then also I have to throw in all the double step back, fade away threes. If you watch how they're landing on one leg 90% of the time, go figure, their legs are getting injured. So, as a viewer, we're not telling these players that to play this way. We're not telling the organizations to not let them scrimmage enough. We don't care. We care about the result, and the result is they're complaining about not wanting to play. They're too tired because they run more. It's a faster game, and they're missing games all the time because of load management because they're tired. So something ain't working here. That's all. That's, as a viewer and as a fan, that's all we have to say. This ain't working. Y'all got to fix it, because they're complaining and we're complaining. So something's not working out here. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I am out of here. Let me know what your comments are. I'll see you in there. We'll have a good conversation like we always do. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and also hit that hype button if you could. And that helps get signal boost the video. And subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, everybody. Most importantly is to be water, my friends. Peace out.